world isolates Israel. Betrayed by friends. US U-turn, Europe revolts. What will Israel do now? Hello friends. Israel, a country that's been locked in a Jewish versus Muslim fight in the Middle East for the last 80 years. Even today, it is fighting on multiple fronts. But right now, Israel is seeing the biggest crisis since its birth. The strike on Hamas building in Qatar came late, and it looks like Israel's luck has run out now. Friends have turned away. On one side, European countries are suddenly recognizing the state of Palestine. And on the other side, China and Qatar have also started a kind of shadow war against Israel, according to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And even Trump has shocked Israel. Trump said, Mr. Prime Minister Netanyahu is not just that. What will happen if Arab forces moves into Gaza? Israel have to come out of it. Overall, it feels like it is Israel versus the world all of a sudden. This is escalating on a big scale. So why are Israel's friends boycotting it? What is India's stance in this conflict? And despite all this, on what grounds does Israel still say we don't care? Friends, let's understand everything quickly in this today's video. Please stay with us till the very end. Betrayed by friends. Friends, since the Israel was born in the Middle East for the last 80 years, the one thing Israel didn't want was the rise of a Palestinian state next to it. No two-nation theory. Israel wanted to be the only state here. For that, they used every tool, diplomacy, force, everything. And there have been many wars, thousands of lives lost. And even today, the fight continues. But now, European countries who supported Israel strongly till now have turned against them. Now, instead of supporting, they have started delivering blows against Israel. Britain, the country that played a major role in Israel's creation, and Canada, Australia, Portugal, France, many that used to back Israel are now recognizing Palestine one after another, and several more countries are planning to recognize it. This means more than 75% of countries worldwide have now recognized Palestine as a state. Friends, if you look closely, many countries had already recognized Palestine before Europe joined in. Israel always resisted accepting this. They always said, look, we grew up amid violence. We were harassed in history. Groups like Hamas attack us. If we give them a separate country, the attack will just get worse. We won't allow that. Israel treated the Palestine issue as unreal to begin with. They assumed the United States had their back. And at the United Nations Security Council, along with the US, Britain and France and other G7 countries wouldn't single them out. They also used diplomatic pressure to stop countries from recognizing Palestine. But that strategy has now melted away. Or it seems to be melting away now. Even United States friends in Europe and countries like Russia and China, these are the nations you would expect to be on Israel's side, have started recognizing Palestine. That's a hard pill for Israel to swallow. Europeans turning the screw. This case hasn't stopped there. European countries are now talking about real penalties against Israel. Tariffs on Israeli goods, cancelling deals, stopping free trade talks, halting arms supplies, cutting technology sharing. Basically, isolating Israel the way they kept Iran at arm's length before. Why? Because they say Israel is committing human rights violations in Gaza. They say Israel is attacking civilians and ignoring everyone's appeals. Israel is not listening to the world. That is the complaint. But that's not the only reason. With protests and political shifts in Europe, left-leaning governments see Palestinian activists as vote banks. Violence at protests pushes governments to protect their voters. So countries are taking pro-Palestine stances one by one. What does this mean for Israel? For Israel, this is a huge blow. The dream of a greater Israel, the plan to take control of the West Bank, has been hit hard. If the world recognizes Palestine, then tomorrow, if Israel tries to take or annex those areas, there won't be global backing. Israel would face sanctions similar to what Russia faces. If Palestine becomes a recognized country, Israel's direct control will reduce. That will open space for anti-Israel forces to rise and thrive. So Israel watches this very closely. Also, it looks like China and Qatar have also quietly joined the conflict against Israel. Israel's Prime Minister says Qatar is working to push economic pressure and propaganda against Israel, and China is helping amplify that. In Western countries, China is using its media networks, lobbies, and platforms, even apps like TikTok, to spread anti-Israel content. That is making Western public opinion turn against Israeli investments and products. Israel says this is an orchestrated campaign to isolate them. America letting go. Friends, one big reason Israel has felt alone is America's shifting stance. For a long time, the United States was ready to stand up against Islamic countries for Israel's sake. But when Israel attacked Qatar, an American ally, Trump openly condemned Israel, reportedly saying bluntly things about Netanyahu. It is reported that Trump openly said, "Netanyahu f*** me." This single line shocked Israel. It showed the US has moved away from blind support now. That means Israel has lost a major backer. Still, Israel isn't just sitting back. They are defending their actions on global platforms. Their message is clear. Why is it okay when US or others do something but wrong when we do the same? You guys were clapping when US Navy SEALs raided Abbottabad in Pakistan. But now, when we hit Hamas camp in Qatar, you are crying? Why is this double standard? We too have the rights to go and destroy terrorists wherever they are hiding. And friends, Israel has also activated its lobby group in the United States to push back. Internally, Israel is shifting too. Leaders are saying their country must be self-reliant in weapons and defense. That means they don't want to rely on Europe or America anymore. They are pushing for 100% domestic arms production. And they say recognizing Palestine is dangerous. Any move that gives Palestine international legitimacy will be opposed by Israel. They are firm. Under no circumstances will there be a Palestinian state next to us. This stance is widening the gap between Israel and the world. Remember, the United States veto has so far kept Palestine from getting full UN member country status. But if the political winds change, the US might use other levers to pressure Israel toward peace. Already there is talk, no Israeli troops in Gaza, bring in Arab forces. A plan reportedly discussed by Trump. If that happens, and Gaza is cleared of Israeli troops, Israel's influence and control would definitely shrink. What is India's stance? India has historically recognized the Palestinian cause. India was one of the first non-Arab countries to recognize the PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization, in 1974 and formally recognized Palestinian statehood after the 1988 declaration. At the same time, since the early 1990s, New Delhi has built deep defense and technological ties with Israel. Today, India walks a careful diplomatic tightrope. It consistently calls for restraint, protection of civilians, and dialogue, while maintaining strong bilateral cooperation with Israel. Quick recap. Israel's long-held assumptions are under severe stress. Friends are turning away. Big powers shifting. And worldwide opinion moving. This isn't a small diplomatic wobble. It's a tectonic shift. Israel says it won't allow a Palestinian state, but the world is moving the other way. The result? A much more isolated Israel and a tougher global environment ahead. Now, what is your opinion on this? Please let us know your thoughts on the comment section below. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and especially please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. This is our request to you. Thank you so much. Let's meet again. Keep looking for better. Namaste.